Oh, okay. So guys, yeah?
Cool, we're ready. So when are you guys ready?
Now I'm just gonna play your film. From there we'll just get your reactions. And start talking about it. Cool?
That's really good. Yeah.
Alright.
It's a film that obviously highlights rape culture, and it really also just highlights how victim blaming has become such a norm within rape culture. And I think before we obviously go ahead with talking about it, I just want to just get your natural reactions to it.
Just seeing that whole scene happen is like sensitive, you know. It's I'm sitting here and I'm shaking inside and very emotional.
I think it brought me like back to the reality of the conversation,
Yeah.
And it made me realize that it is not something that is spoken about.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like exactly what it says at the beginning of the film. This content is for sensitive viewers,
Yeah.
and I feel like as a society we are sensitive to the topic, but really we shouldn't have to be, because it's something that needs to be spoken about and made aware. I think just seeing that kind of made me feel guilty for almost not being so conscious about that happening. I think coming from like a female, we don't even talk about it amongst each other. It's not something that we want to discuss.
Yeah. Boy, too, what reaction did you get, when you watched the film?
It was obviously very triggering,
Yeah.
hence crying or whatever. I think I know enough people to be close enough to that reality. So it's, and I agree with Shirkan, it shouldn't be a matter of sensitive viewers. Everyone should see it, feel it, understand it.
And of course, Mama Rumo, you were the actress, and it's the first time you seeing it. How did you feel having to sort of like see yourself in that state?
I don't know how many takes we did, and each time we shot, you can never get used to that. Someone is going through that. Yeah.
Like I said, it's like same year. When I saw it for the first time, I was also triggered. It's not new. It's a topic or a subject that has been going on for such a long time. I mean, what are your thoughts with regards to victim blame? Not just in SA, but I guess everywhere.
I think the conversation needs to be had more amongst men, because I feel like the more it is female talk, the more we still keep it a matter of victim and victim blaming and making it about us. It's not our fault. It's really got nothing to do with us, and we shouldn't be the ones that are fixing it. We've had more than enough conversations about what happens to our bodies and what we can and can't do, what we can and cannot wear, etc.
I totally agree.
Exactly. I mean, what are we supposed to do now?
Yeah, there's nothing we can do.
Don't be home alone. Don't walk. What are we supposed
Stop
to do?
teaching the victim what not to do.
Exactly.
Tell the perpetrator to stop doing it.
A lot of rape victims or people who are sexually assaulted don't get assaulted by a stranger on the street. It's your father, your stepfather, your uncle, your brother,
Your husband.
you know,
Boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
they never take the responsibility for the shit that they've done. Why were you there? With who were you there? You know, these are men that are supposed to look after us.
The more we squash this narrative of, oh, they're just guys will be guys, I think then we'll start seeing some progress, because that narrative is what allows men to get away with so much, because it's always a thing of men will be men.
I still feel like as females, like we need to continue pushing the conversation, because it's something that's going to happen to future females and future generations, and I feel like that we have this way of behaving where we don't converse about sensitive issues. So it happens in the male cultures where that's why they're not calling out other men, because they don't talk. Men are not vulnerable enough, and we are crucified as women for being too vulnerable. So there's like a big misalignment between men and women that is not allowing us to resolve the issue. We know we blame men, but how further can we take the situation as females, as a collective? We need to stand together more and closely. You know, I feel like certain situations, moms don't address it. You know, girls don't feel comfortable talking to your mom or your auntie or your sister or whatever. It's something that you keep so close to you, and I really just want everyone to feel free to kind of open up about what they're experiencing and what they're going through. I'm having a shit day. Like, you good? No. How are you? Like, just those ways of addressing people that allow us to actually be open and honest about what's going on.
I totally agree, and correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't this address sort of like everybody? Doesn't it involve everybody? Because you find in certain situations where perhaps even the females might victim blame another victim of rape, where they're saying, why were you, but you were vibing with the guy the whole
but no
night.
one came to find her. That was also something
That's
that
also
was
another thing.
shocking.
No one was wondering,
No one
where
was-
is she?
So
No,
it involves everybody, not just. I mean,
She
not just
screamed. She cried. The doors closed.
How's no one coming in and doing something about it?
Mama Ruma, why did you decide to be part of this, the film? What convinced you?
So for me, acting is the form of healing. And that's what I want people to take from that, especially with roles like this. At home as a victim, and I see something like that, that gives me hope that someone cares. I am not alone.
It's no secret that I guess the hip hop world has, for such a long time, objectified women and females and stuff like that. So
I think the hip hop community is it's like a drop in the ocean in terms of what actually allows the victim blaming to continue, and what gives men the permission to feel like they can get away with it, etc. It's so much bigger than that. It's just patriarchy in general. I mean, it's just the system in the whole world allows men to feel like they can get away with it. For them to have the balls to say, I can say this in a song and I can promote this and not be afraid of the repercussions or the consequences, they learned that from somewhere, and something out there is allowing them and saying, it's okay, we don't mind, you can get away with that. And it is the society we live in. So, yeah.
I feel so differently about that topic.
Okay.
I really feel like artists are so influential because they're so public.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like they portray this lifestyle that really allows other people to want to live that lifestyle because it looks freaking lovely. But I mean, I guess that things are changing with females trying to own that situation and own that narrative of being half naked and being comfortable with who they are and their bodies and taking charge. We create the norms, we set the trends, we say what we allow and what we don't allow. So I mean, I guess as a hip-hop culture, you guys can maybe honor women in your music video or put them on a pedestal or treat them like your mom. Or I wouldn't have males doing any of that in my space or in a video because that's not how I see a man. I see a man as a co-creator.
What more can an ordinary citizen do, in your opinion, to sort of like just help, I guess, tackle the situation?
Can we create safe spaces for each other and really listening to each other?
Yeah.
We need that.
And teaching people how to respond to anyone who's gone through that, you know. More conversations about the fact that it's no one's fault, the fact that rape has got nothing to do with what you're dressed like, what you look like, etc. It's just power, you know. It's got to do with a man craving power, and to, you know, it's got nothing to do with what you look like or anything that you're doing. So those conversations are so important, and I feel like people should be educated on that level, and I think that's where the safe spaces will be created, because, you know, to speak, it's not easy, and I think the allowing yourself to speak will come from knowing that when I do speak, I'll be heard.
People need to stop being savages and actually be a person. Like everyone is a good person. Everyone has that goodness inside of them. They're just afraid to be that or show that because it's seen as weakness. And that's when someone can come to you and be like, yo, this happened to me. But now you're savage the whole time. How is people even gonna speak to you? How are your family, your sisters, you always hustling, you're making money, you're just doing the most, you're doing everything, but being there for the people around you. Safe spaces, like she said. We all have trauma we're going through and no one wants to deal with it.
It becomes a vicious cycle.
Yeah, no one wants to heal, so we keep on hurting the next person and the next and the next.
And we need to also be able to speak to our elders. We need to be able to go to hospitals, and by elders I mean even the old nurses there at the hospital. You know, most of the time young girls can't even go there. You know, you feel like, okay, at home no one can listen to me, I'm scared, I might be judged, but let me go to a stranger at a hospital that's supposed to be also a safe space, and you have someone's mom already judging you. What were you doing? You know, so I think we need to also teach the older generation to have these conversations and be more sympathetic and more sensitive and more aware of the fact that it's real.
Exactly what Boetie said, more conversations, like more like visual representations of that idea of it's not anyone's fault. No one would purposely do that to themselves.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Such an honor.
Next one is with guys, please.
For
real.
We'll make sure the next one's with
Definitely.
guys. But then obviously this isn't just a August thing. This is a story that continues, or the topic will continue. So